Everybody, and welcome to Grow Your Life live sessions. It's Monday morning, time to get into it and get going. This week I want to talk about how to learn anything quickly. Do you remember the movie The Matrix when they could kind of plug in and they downloaded like how to fly a helicopter or something like that? If you haven't seen it, basically she plugged into this computer, it downloaded how to fly a helicopter, how to do that, and she knew how to fly a helicopter in seconds. You can actually do that as a human being on planet Earth right now, but a lot of people don't realize that. They don't know how. They think they have to either go to school, go through a huge process, and that's one of the number one things that slows people down from reaching their goals. And so what I want to do is I'm really pressing into how can I impart and pass on to you some of the stuff that I've learned over the years that have helped me grow and be successful that I know works. Just a little bit of background with me. I have never been to college. I not even traditional education. I was actually homeschooled. That makes me kind of weird, and my communication style is unique in that, but I've learned how to work through that. In that, though, I've discovered how to self-teach myself anything quickly without being limited by what society says is how you should learn. Learning is actually something that we're taught should be hard. We're taught should be difficult, yet it's actually very simple when you love something. Have you ever looked at this? Have you ever wanted to learn something and you've obsessed over it? You just obsessed over it and you learned it. You became an expert in that field. Say, for instance, if your family member had an illness of some kind, or you contracted something and you learned everything about it. You Googled everything and you found out that you might die tomorrow because you have a cold. I'm joking here. But in that, you have the ability to learn things quickly when you want to, when the desire comes in. So in that, the only reason that most people don't learn quickly is because it's been drilled in us that learning should not be fun. Learning shouldn't be enjoyable. When in fact, if you look at the result of learning, when you learn something, what the result will be, what you can do through that learning, then it becomes fun. For instance, I taught myself programming over the last year because I want to create software on my own and lead teams of people. So I created this big vision in my mind of where I wanted to go. And then I shorted up into what's the first thing I need to do. Well, I didn't even know how to speak the programming language of anything at all other than HTML and CSS, which by the way, aren't programming languages. So I learned all that. That's not to say, you need to do that. Whatever it is that you want to learn, there's tools now on the internet to do that. The internet, the reason why it's called the information age, back in the 90s when the internet first came out, it was called the information age, the information superhighway, because it's the fastest way that we can get information and learn knowledge right now in the world today. And this has been available since the 90s, yet so many people still don't understand it. One of the first things to do is get really good at using Google. How to learn anything quickly like the Matrix. Google is your first step. You plug in with Google. You ask it how to build how to build a race car with an LS1 motor. For instance, that's an actual search term that I looked up. I now know how to build, deconstruct, and construct cars or direct people on doing that. I have had no knowledge on automotive, yet now I could consider myself an intermediate level person in my understanding of how automotive and automobiles are put together, okay? Whatever it is that you want to learn, I'm not saying you need to learn how to build cars, okay? But whatever it is that you want to learn, look at your goals, look at where you want to go, and work backwards. What don't you know? Be real vulnerable. Get uncomfortable and get real with yourself. Stop feeling like, I don't want to go there. Look at what you don't know, what you need to learn to get there. And then ask, who do I know that can help me get there? How can you help me? How can I help somebody else? That's where mentorship comes in. Ask somebody who's done it, hey, what's the best way for me to learn this? So what I've done is I actually will go to somebody, if I organically meet them, have a little bit of relationship, or even we just meet, they're doing something that's in a field that I want to, I will ask a super oddball question. I asked a mechanical engineer that worked on rocket ships this question. I said, what's the best place for me to start to learn about mechanical engineering? I'm really interested in aerospace and rocket ships, but my background's in marketing and software, but I'm really interested in this. And I got 1, 2, 3. Start with books. Look online. There's lots of forums and communities. That's great. We need more people like you that are seeking this out. That's what they said. Ask somebody. Don't be afraid to ask. So often in school, we've also been taught that it's weak to ask, that asking is a weakness. Actually, not asking is weak because you are afraid of how somebody will respond back. Asking is where you can progress, move forward, and do great things. So how to learn anything as quickly as the Matrix. You ask somebody, you Google it. Google is basically asking millions of people because it has an algorithm that can ask them for you. And then you work backwards from there. Okay, you identify what you need to learn. Now, how do I learn that? Some of the best resources for learning stuff, I'm going to be real honest here. I don't have an affiliate link, but I would encourage you to look up maybe a coupon for it. I'm going to try to find an affiliate link because I can get $10 if people sign up for this. But I've looked up one of the best places for anybody to learn something. If you're specifically wanting to learn software, it's called O'Reilly Safari Learning System. But LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn bought lynda.com. And lynda.com was this whole thing. It was basically this online academy on skills, learning new skills. Udemy created that model. So LinkedIn is a membership where you get access to all the learning. Udemy, you get access to individual courses. If you don't have any money, YouTube is your free version of that. So if you don't have the cash to invest in like LinkedIn Learning, I think it's like $30 a month, or Udemy courses, start at YouTube. So a lot of people, they will say, well, I don't have the money to buy a course. Okay, that's great. Awesome. Do what you can do. Go to YouTube, look up, listen to podcasts, look up the terms of what you need to learn. YouTube actually has all of the information that you need, even from a lot of paid courses, but it's kind of put together in a sporadic format. It's not put together in a step 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So you have to learn how to research that type of stuff. That's why I still really like systems like LinkedIn Learning that are a simple fee, $30 a month. And you have skills ranging from mechanical engineering, software, cooking, finance, whatever you can think of is on LinkedIn Learning. So in that, you can learn stuff through platforms like that. O'Reilly is just insane for programming. They actually use that at Google, Microsoft, and major organizations to train up programmers on new languages and new skills. The O'Reilly platform, and that's also $30 a month. That's the one that I used to learn programming over the last year, is their platform right there. Had no skill, now I have skill, and I'm getting results from it. So for you, I want you to realize that if you feel like you have trouble learning, that's okay. Totally fine. And I get that. It's scary. But I want you to look inside yourself. Ask yourself personally, what are my goals? What don't I know? Be vulnerable. Why do you have trouble learning? What is that? And how can we maybe work with that? Double down on your strengths. Gary Vee says this all the time. Double down on your strengths. Shore up your weaknesses. Get rid of the weaknesses, in fact, sometimes. Instead of trying to increase your weaknesses, we do more of what we're strong at and less of what we're not good at until we can maybe hire some people. In learning, learn what you can, use what you can, okay? Strength, I can learn, or I don't know how to. So here's the best excuse. I don't know how to look it up. I don't know what to find. I don't have the money to invest in something. Okay, well, if you did know, what would you search? And work backwards from there and start searching. Do a exploratory mission on Google and YouTube and look stuff up. And then when you have some money, invest maybe for 1 month in like LinkedIn Learning or O'Reilly or another platform, maybe a course on Udemy. Maybe it's my course, the website building course that I just launched, where I distilled all my knowledge over the last 15 years on building professional business websites into a simple course for you. Completely shameless plug right there, because I know it's going to help people. But for you to learn other skills, there's great platforms out there to do that, and I highly recommend you seek them out. But just start at YouTube, podcasts, and Google. That's your first place to start. If you do this and you start to put it into practice, let's say you don't learn very easily, just try. Look at your goals, where you want to go, start learning, start putting into practice. Ask me questions, post in the comments here, join my community. And I think you can learn anything. And then you can go after your goals, learn a new skill, start a side hustle with that and apply it in different ways. And that's how people can progress. We can grow and learn things that we never knew were possible. I know I can't teach everything to everybody, so I want to direct you to places that you can. And this is the best way that I know to help people learn new skills, kind of like the Matrix. You could learn how to fly a helicopter on those. Maybe not get a license, but you could learn some of the basics. You know what I mean? So check those out. Have a good one, everybody. Grow your life, and we will talk.